Can I call someone?
No.
No, because I children, literally.
Okay.
That's it. Can you please take consideration? That's it. I'm not being disorderly or anything like that.
You want to stay on this side?
Put
your knees in the car, please. Where are your kids at?
We're at the hotel, so I really need to call somebody.
Who are they with?
They're with their self right now.
The following day, India reportedly left 3 children, ages 10, 6, and 4, alone in a hotel room overnight and were absent from school.
Hello everyone and welcome to Attorneys React, where all your favorite attorneys react to all the stupid going on in our world, and we are here with another roadside stop that escalates because the woman offers the police officer some THC. Well, that can be super fun and exciting when you just offer the police officer the drugs. It certainly makes it a lot easier to prove that they're in possession of the drugs. When you simply say, here are some drugs, would you like to have them? So let's watch this roadside stop go wrong. Let's get started with this.
On May 22nd, 2022, a Campbell police officer observed a vehicle with expired registration since May 2021 in La Crosse, Wisconsin. The driver of the vehicle was identified as 26-year-old India James. The officer activated their emergency lights to conduct a traffic stop, but India continued to drive.
Yeah, there's a shoulder over there she could pull over at. Okay.
Eventually, she turned into a McDonald's parking lot, ran over a curb, and ended up facing the squad car.
All right, so not necessarily an ideal way to go about this. You should probably pull over at the first available opportunity if you want to wait for a parking lot or something like that. But you don't want to obviously go too far. She could have pulled over at a lot of earlier stages. So is this excessive? It's not necessarily ideal. So not off to a great start, I'm sure.
Why aren't you stopping for me?
So I can pull somewhere safe.
Do you have a driver's license on you?
No, ma'am.
Do you have anything on you that identifies you?
Yeah, so I'm not sure that strictly speaking that she did anything illegal, waiting for a reasonable place to pull over. The officer's like, well, I picked a reasonable place. Well, you have to be worried about your own safety, and sometimes the officer, of course, could be wrong. So, did she break the law by going as far as she did? I mean, there were a lot of places that she could have arguably pulled over earlier, but, the officer's like, well, I'm not going to get you for that. But now she doesn't seem to have a driver's license, which is kind of important when you're driving. You got to have the driver's license for the driving. It's right in the name. You know right away, of course, that she's not going to be allowed to drive away from this, right? So no matter what happens, the odds of the cop letting her drive away without that license on her are basically 0.
Is this your vehicle? The reason I pulled you over was because the plates are expired.
No, it's not.
The Minnesota plates that you have on the vehicle are expired.
That was not mine.
Then they should, nope, stay in the car.
They shouldn't be. They right there.
They shouldn't be on the Minnesota plates that are visible to me.
They're not mine.
They shouldn't be on the vehicle then.
But I didn't know.
Okay.
My plate is on the vehicle.
Okay, you can't see that one. Is it a temp tag?
Yeah, it's on there.
Okay, so then you shouldn't have another plate on, right?
I never took them off. I didn't never take them off.
Okay.
Dispatch advised she did not have a driver's license, and her status is suspended for her driving record.
Uh-oh. So she has a suspended driver's license. She's driving on a suspended license. She's breaking the law, my friends. So now it's just a question of where it's going to go from here. How much longer is it going to go? It's not going great. And the officer has a point. If she has a temp tag up, she really shouldn't have the other tag displayed. Just cover the tag. Put the temp tag on top of the metal tag if you want. But you probably should make it clear that, which tag you're driving under, so that you don't have to run into this problem.
Assisting officer arrived on the scene. They observed marijuana on the front passenger floorboard of her vehicle.
Looks like it's hard to tell. There might be shake on the ground over here.
Okay. All right, so have you been drinking or anything tonight? The way you were driving was just, you're all over the road, and then you're hopping the curb over here. You're not pulling over when you're supposed to.
You pull me over. I'm not, and nothing's wrong. I don't even drink. Never.
Are you under the influence of anything else?
Please, y'all, please not put me. Well, I can't even get reception.
Okay, well, I'm talking to you, so you don't need reception right now.
I do, because I feel like my rights has always been violated. I have my registration plates.
Yeah, but the reason that you're pulled over is because you have other plates on the vehicle. You can't be doing that. So
I did not know that. More than once, I have been pulled over in this car and they never said nothing about the plates.
What are you being pulled over for?
Traffic violation.
Okay.
All that you see on there.
Okay.
I don't have no connection.
So you don't have a driver's license, so you're not going to be able to drive away in the vehicle, correct?
Somebody, I'm going to the person with the driver's license.
Well, you're not allowed to do that.
Do you have something on the floorboard over there that they're looking at?
He talking about this shit right here. He just searching my car.
What's that?
I'm not under the influence. I already just went.
Plain view, my friend, plain view, right? She sees something on the floorboards, like, what's that on the floorboard? Now she wants to take a closer look at it. Yeah, and the officer seems to think that she might be under the influence, and given the way that she's acting, I understand the officer's conclusion, that she thinks that they're suspect. Also, of course, as we pointed out, she's not going to be able to drive away because she doesn't have a driver's license. So she needs to find some alternative form of transport. That car is being towed. And if the car is towed, then they're almost certainly going to do an inventory search. So take your pick of Fourth Amendment reasons that this is okay. It's in plain view. Inevitable discovery is part of an inventory search. That we have probable cause or reasonably articulable suspicion based on her behavior and driving patterns. So which of these doors will we allow the evidence in is the only question at this point. Take your pick.
India denied it was marijuana and refused multiple times to exit her vehicle.
I'm not smoking.
It says it contains THC. Why don't you step out of the car, okay?
Go ahead, no.
You just handed me THC. You can't have THC.
Oh, that's not THC.
It says it contains THC.
Okay, and I'm not smoking. I'm not under the influence.
But you can't have anything in the vehicle like that, whether you're smoking or not. Let me step out of the vehicle for me.
They have every right to make you step out of the vehicle. They can do it as part of a standard traffic stop. As long as it's not unduly extending the length of the stop, that they can ask you to step out if they believe it's for their, basically for any reason, for their own safety or whatever. And also, incidentally, you're not being allowed to drive away. So there's no way you're allowed to remain in the car. So step out of the car because, you're not going anywhere. Might as well step out now.
You got THC in the vehicle. You just handed it to me. You're not.
That's CBD. Y'all violate my rights.
It says it contains THC.
Well, just let me get a video started and all of that.
No.
Step out.
No.
Wait, okay, hold on. I'm not going to resist. I'm not.
You're resisting. You are resisting.
I'm not resisting.
You are resisting. You are in fact resisting. You are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
I will. Listen,
The officer gave you a lawful order several times. You've refused the order to step out of the car. It's a lawful order. You were obviously resisting. And the officer's like, step out of the car. No. Step out of the car. No. Okay, I'm going to make you step out of the car. Yeah, we're using our force escalation strategies. Words didn't work. Let's move on to the next step of the force escalation. Yep, this is fine. I'm not resisting. Yes, you most certainly are.
please.
Then stop resisting.
I'm not.
Stop tensing up.
I'm not
tensing up.
Listen, look.
Put your
Here,
hands
don't
behind
break the
your
phone. It's behind my bag. There you go. There's the phone.
Walk to the front of my car.
Why? Can I ask why y'all been so aggressive?
They're not being aggressive.
Are y'all cameras on?
Yes.
I'm not
Face
being
the car.
aggressive.
Do you have anything
I'm
else
not
you're
being.
not supposed to?
My money. That's it. Oh my gosh. Oh.
All right, so at this point, we are looking in her person. So I guess we could split the legal difference on whether or not we are simply doing a Terry search at this point or whether or not we're doing a search incident to arrest. So it's not necessarily legally clear, but as long as we're here, let's try to learn something legally valid. So she is in cuffs. That doesn't necessarily mean that she's under arrest. The courts have talked about this, and that is certainly an indicia of arrest, but not necessarily sufficient for arrest. So we could actually split the difference. Do they have probable cause that she is committing a crime? Well, I don't know, because I don't know the laws of this particular jurisdiction that well in terms of whether or not she having THC in her car is a crime. If it's a crime and they're doing arrest, then they can do a search incident to arrest, and this is totally fine. But let's assume that she's not under arrest. If she's not under arrest and they're just doing a Terry stop, so they can only do search for weapons but not contraband. So I suppose we could split the difference if we were really looking at this in the fine details of a courtroom. But if she is subject to arrest, then probably not going to make much of a difference. Also, you are totally resisting. Also, they gave you a lawful order to step out of the car. Also, you can't drive the car. You don't have a valid license. Also, apparently you're in possession of THC in your car, which is apparently illegal. Also, you have invalid plates on your car. Also, you were driving in a way that shows that you are not in full control of your car, for example, by running over curbs. So, do the police have some basis to extend the stop? I'm going to go with yes. Take your pick as to which one.
Detained for what?
You are totally resisting. They gave you a lawful order to step out of the car. You can't drive the car. You don't have a valid license. Apparently, you're in possession of THC in your car, which is apparently illegal. You have invalid plates on your car. You were driving in a way that shows that you are not in full control of your car, for example, by running over curbs.
Can I see my phone?
No.
I have children. I really need to see the phone.
Okay, you not get the phone.
That's it. I need to call for to notify somebody.
You do that under the jail probably.
The jail? Why?
We'll see how this goes.
Why would I go to jail?
Stop.
Y'all already got me here because I'm not moving.
You're moving.
Real quick, I just wanted to say that Attorney Tom / Attorney Reacts content is now on Spotify. We just launched a partnered show, link in the description. Go check it out. Now, back to the video.
Okay, so she says jail probably, so I guess maybe she's not under arrest, and this is a mere Terry stop. You know, police are just checking her for weapons as part of a standard Terry stop and finding stuff that are in her pockets, so yeah, this is probably lawful. Also, a court doesn't care.
Y'all acting like I'm being resistant and I'm not.
You are.
No,
You are
I'm not being resistant at all.
Judge Uncivil hates to disagree with you, ma'am, but you're resisting all kinds of lawful orders. So I'm not sure exactly what you're resisting at this point, whether or not you are disobeying a lawful order, which incidentally, almost certainly is an arrestable offense unto itself. So when they said get out of the car and you didn't, that probably is an arrestable offense. Disobeying a lawful order is probably arrestable. So add that to the list.
Call someone? No, because I have children. Literally.
No.
Okay. That's it. Can you please take consideration? That's it. I'm not being disorderly or anything like that.
You want to stay on this side? Put your knees in the car, please.
Yeah.
So
where are your kids at?
we're at the hotel, so I really need to call somebody.
Who are they with?
They're with their self right now.
With who?
They're self right now.
Okay.
They're what?
So can I please call somebody? That's it.
They're good for
I'm
right
not,
now. They're
no,
good
you're
for right
not.
now. Get your knees in
Can
the car.
you please not, please?
Get your knees in the car.
Miss Palmer, please.
Just
I'm
get
not
in there.
disorderly.
Get your knees in the
Yes,
car.
you have.
Please take consideration.
Put your knees in the car.
Oh my God, that is like you're being forceful. Please.
Yes, she is. Okay, so yeah, the police are using standard force escalation. Also, she's being held in the back of the car, so is she lawfully under arrest at this point? Well, I suppose some court somewhere could actually get into it. Again, we are talking about indicia of arrest, right? So the police have detained her. Is this an arrest? I don't know if it is or not. It doesn't really matter because let's count all the reasons that they could arrest him, right? And then it's inevitable discovery, take your pick. So is it lawfully arrest? Is it inevitable discovery because it could be arrest? I don't know. But, you know, which arrestable offense should we say that she's being arrested for? Take your pick. Apparently, after searching her vehicle, they discovered 22 ecstasy pills, 6 grams of cocaine, 1 gram of marijuana, digital scale, and nearly $2,500 in cash. Yeah, okay. So they can't search her vehicle unless probable cause, which makes it arrestable. Is it arrestable? Yes. So we have more than enough information to suggest that she is in the trade of narcotics. So not merely in possession, but legally a dealer. So not going well for her. See, she's trying to get out of the cuffs. This is why the cops search you for weapons even when you're in cuffs. Some people can get out of cuffs, you know? Some people can do a Houdini, man.
I need to talk to my kid. I need my phone.
No.
I need my phone.
You're in custody.
Okay, so they said that she's in custody. Now I think we've reached arrest. Case we wanted to split the difference on arrest versus not arrest. Incidentally, of course, they haven't read her Miranda, nor do they have to, because they haven't been asking her anything beyond administrative questions, right? The only questions they asked were as part of a standard traffic stop, right? So do they need to read Miranda? Nope. So all this comes in at court. They never read me Miranda. Yeah, they didn't ask you any questions beyond the standard stuff that they ask as part of any traffic stop, and Miranda doesn't cover that. You know, that's just an administrative stuff. Now every statement you make is now a spontaneous admission. So all this stuff is coming in at your trial. Fun times. You gotta be careful there, woman. You know, if you break something, you're gonna get charged for destruction of property too. Also, you want to take care of your kids? I don't know. At this point, I think maybe your kids are in better hands wherever they are.
All right, go ahead and step out of the vehicle.
walking through the door.
India was charged with felony counts of possession with intent of designer drugs and cocaine.
Yeah, what did I tell you? Possession with intent, right? We've got the scales, we've got the drugs, we've got drugs in quantity, possession with intent to distribute. Yep, sounds about right to me.
Misdemeanor counts of possession of THC, resisting, and bail jumping.
Oh yeah, it's completely unsurprising. She's already on bail for something else. Oh yeah, who didn't see that one coming? Keep your nose clean. Yeah, I promise I will. You didn't keep your nose clean, so you're in violation of your bail conditions. Who could have ever seen that this woman already had a criminal record coming?
The following day, India reportedly left 3 children, ages 10, 6, and 4, alone in a hotel room overnight and were absent from school. Social workers who inspected reported multiple safety factors in the room, including items shoved in the heat register, clogged plumbing, a large knife sitting out, an electrical power strip plugged in, sitting on top of clothing, and laundry detergent not kept in a safe spot.
I think we have problems beyond the immediate. She wants to go take care of her kids. Her kids seem to be in somewhat of danger. They left these 3 fairly young children alone, and there seems to be a lot of problems with the room. And I'm guessing it wasn't all caused by the children, because this woman seems to not be completely with it. So I want to take care of my children, though not particularly a strong, sympathetic moment right now here at this time.
The children were served breakfast by hotel staff and taken to school later in the day. Due to the fact that India made no attempt to alert anyone about children left in the hotel room, she was also charged with 3 counts of child neglect. India was released on a $2,000 signature bond with conditions of drug testing, GPS monitoring, and no contact with her children, unless approved by Child Protective Services.
All that sounds fine except for the bond. She's already been charged with bail jumping because she couldn't satisfy her earlier bond, and we're going to let her out with bond again. And also, these are some fairly serious charges. A $2,000 signature bond for felony weight drugs with intent to distribute, child neglect, resisting arrest, possession of THC, and everything else. Okay, I mean, I guess this is a merciful state when it comes to such things. Man, oh man. Thus, that brings us to the end of this case, and yeah, this woman seems to have done some many things that are very illegal and also not be the most fit mother I've ever heard of in my life. What is disturbing but somehow not surprising is despite the fact that she's apparently already on bond, because otherwise she couldn't be convicted of bail jumping, because she has violated her conditions by not keeping her nose clean, she is nevertheless allowed to get free again on a $2,000 signature bond. I don't know, man, it's something that's disturbing when these people who are doing some things that are very, very illegal on a repeated basis, driving with a suspended license, invalid tags, driving in a reckless fashion, hitting curbs, not pulling over for police in a timely manner, driving with THC, driving in possession of ecstasy, driving in possession of cocaine, driving in possession of drug paraphernalia, resisting arrest, and everything else are let go with a $2,000 signature bond. What does it say about how we deal with criminals in the modern age? I suppose is the most disturbing lesson of all. But until later, my friends, I've been on Civil Law for Attorneys React. I hope you had a great day, and I look forward to seeing you next time.
Big verdict.